Hello and welcome to the Amazing Spider-Man Podcast. Yes, we are not an Amazing Spider-Man Podcast. We are the Amazing Spider-Man Podcast. I say that to try to make us sound special, even though we are probably a bunch of losers in our basement. Yes, I am your host and webmaster, Jonathan Weber of theamazingspiderman.com. Dashes in between every word. And yes, I have to say dashes in between every word, because if I don't, then someone will go to theamazingspiderman.com, and it won't be the website I'm talking about. So go to the-amazing-spider-man.com. That is the website this podcast is hosted from. And of course, today we have actually the largest panel in this podcast's history, because today, for the first time, we have 4 people on this panel, including myself. So I actually have 3 co-hosts with me. First up today, we have Mr. James Markin.
Hey guys, and I just got one thing to say first. I saw Godzilla again, and it just made me think one thing. Suck it, Bueller.
Okay. Moving on from that, we have Mr. Jacob Blowbomb.
I'm not in my basement.
Damn it.
Hi.
You ruined it.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm in my bedroom. I'm in my room right now, dude.
I'm in my bedroom on the top floor. I'm the exact opposite of the basement right now.
I'm sitting in my basement with my pants unbuttoned.
Okay, that's nasty. I'm signing out.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
All right.
Okay,
bye,
joke,
guys.
stop.
I'm kidding.
Dude, me and Jacob have to sign off. We're over 18. We can get arrested if you were legitimately like that.
I'm kidding. The explicit logo on this episode just turned bright red. But our final panelist for today is Mr. Jan Allen.
Yo, guys, I'm not in my basement either. I'm in my hangout room.
Damn it.
Yeah.
You all are making me the ultimate nerd. I'm
Yep.
in my basement.
Well, you are the spider nerd. Wink.
Oh.
Oh.
James, that was good about Suck It, Bueller.
All
Yeah, I
right.
saw that joke someplace else. I had to rip it off. I'm sorry. Whoever actually did that joke.
Oh, duh. I get that joke now.
Because Broderick was in the other one, right?
Yeah.
And his immortal iconic line that just summed up Godzilla perfectly. That's a lot of fish.
Was that in Nostalgia Critic?
That's from the actual movie.
Oh,
But the Nostalgia Critic does bring it up.
Was the Suck It Broderick from Nostalgia Critic or not?
No, I just
started watching him.
somebody else who reviewed the movie that was like, I got 3 words to sum up this new movie. Suck it, Bueller.
All right. That was the creepiest laugh I think I've ever done.
Yep.
But is tackling Spider News now. We've got literally we have pretty much nothing to talk about this week.
Post-movie news drought, ladies and gentlemen. Post-movie news drought.
Yes, thank you for stealing my term, you bastard.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you son of a bitch, you bastard. But yeah, we have one piece of news this week. What is the piece of news this week?
Miles
Miles Morales is apparently going to join the all-new X-Men. Brian Michael Bendis posted a picture on his Tumblr, and it features Miles Morales saying, "Welcome to the X-Men, Miles Morales. Hope you survive the experience." Miles Morales in a circle in the center of the picture, surrounded by the X-Men. My personal thoughts on this news, I don't give a flying deuce about this news, because I don't care about all new X-Men. I don't really care about Miles Morales, and so I don't really care about this news at all. Jacob, what are your thoughts on this news?
I'm excited because I really like all new X-Men and Miles Morales and Brian Michael Bendis. So, God man out.
I guess you are the person that we should evict from the panel first. No, it's,
My bad.
It's fine.
Bye, guys.
James, thoughts on the Miles Morales joining places?
Meh. Like, it's like, I read the early issues of his run that Bendis was doing on X-Men, and then I dropped the book, so after the first few story arcs, it kind of just wasn't interesting no more for me. And
Battle of the Atom was good.
Oh yeah, Battle of the Atom was the last one I read.
Oh, okay. Continue.
And it was just like not that good of a series after that. I felt like it was really hit or miss. And this is, I think, people are jumping way too overboard, saying, "Oh God, is this finally the debut of Miles Morales in 616 and everything?" I think it's pretty obvious that if this issue comes out around Spider-Verse, that it is Ultimate Miles Morales, and he's just teaming up with the X-Men because Bendis is writing that title.
Well, clearly it is Ultimate because I doubt Miles Morales of the 616 is Spider-Man, and he's clearly in his Spider-Man suit.
It's possible, the impression that we got at the end of Spider-Man number 5 when Peter searched up Miles Morales on the computer was that Miles Morales was, it was a big shock to Peter. I just want to assume Miles Morales is some sort of serial killer. It's
yeah.
He's an evil Spider-Man somewhere in the world.
Oh gosh.
Dude, no, even more like the most effed up thing if they could done, and it would probably piss off like a big amount of people.
Make him a white guy?
No, people. Well, yeah, kind of. Peter looks up Miles Morales, and he sees he is also known to be called by this name, and Ben Reilly. And Peter's like, "Oh my God, it's Ben!" Can you imagine how pissed off people would get?
Oh,
I would be pissed.
Yep.
Oh gosh, I don't even want to bring that up. But yeah, Jen, thoughts on Miles Morales joining this team of people?
Next.
Awesome. I guess that pretty much does it for Spider News this week. There is pretty much literally nothing to talk about. I had my 1-year anniversary of being a webmaster this week. Yay.
Nobody cares. No,
Congratulations.
Yeah, I started the original SpiderNerd site 1 year ago on May 25th. So I guess that was a good thing. Maybe if you like this website.
I like the website.
Yeah, I was going to say most people probably don't like this site, so it's...
Yeah, website sucks.
Yeah, your website's horrible, dude.
Yeah, I'm just going to say this right now because I just went onto the message board. The next person to post porn on our message board, I will personally come over there and snap your neck in half.
Okay, good. You just mentioned it because I just went on the message board to read over the news again, and yeah, it just popped up when I refreshed the page. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna ban this person's IP address right now. I banned like 5 different IP addresses today. And it's just, oh my gosh, this next person to post porn on the message board is going down.
I'll do it.
It's like I see that the person posted this stuff, but it's like, why? It's like, it's either this person's the biggest troll ever, or it's just a spam bot.
And for some reason, they're not being banned. What the hell? I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure this out.
All I'm saying is, if you're somebody doing this and you're just doing it to be a troll, stop.
Yeah, seriously, I'm getting really sick of it.
I will personally come over there and throw you out a window onto a car, which will go and drive into the river. That made no sense.
Yeah. Okay. We'll do that.
To quote a line for South Park, there's a time and a place for everything, and it's called college.
Yes, pretty much. Now, we got 5 issues to tackle today. We got 1 current issue and 4 classic issues. Since Jacob is the only person here who read Giant Size Spider-Man number 1, he's going to be the one to review it because I was the one who told him to pick it up because I actually didn't have the money to pick up Giant Size Spider-Man because I don't have any money right now. So, Jacob, why don't you review Giant Size Spider-Man number 1 for us?
Well, children, Giant Size Spider-Man number 1. Written by Joe Caramaga. I don't know how to pronounce your name, and I've never heard of you, but... Well, we got 4 stories here, which is pretty much just retelling the stories of, hey, Uncle Ben's dead, and the Vulture sucks, and so does Doc Ock and the Sandman. So, I'm flipping through this right now. Yeah, we got the Behind the Mask, which is the first one. It's pretty much Amazing Fantasy 15, except I think it's a little bit longer. You got the wrestling thing isn't here, but it's not Crusher Hogan, which pissed me off.
What?
It's not Crusher Hogan.
Why change ever?
What?
Did they make it the guy named Joe?
Oh, jeez.
No, it's
Jonathan's favorite story.
Where is it? Where is it? The announcer says it somewhere. It's like Pretty Boy Troy or something like that.
You know what it might be? I heard
What?
this story years ago because I'm a huge wrestling fan. That years ago, when Hulk Hogan started to use the name Hulk Hogan, that the copyrights to the Incredible Hulk, that they had to, like Vince McMahon and WCW and all the companies that Hogan worked for, had to pay rights to it until 2005 when Hulk Hogan bought all the rights to Hulk Hogan. It could be something where maybe now that Hulk Hogan owns rights to the name Hulk Hogan, they might have been too afraid of having a wrestler named Crusher Hogan, appear in it.
See,
so
I
that
didn't
might
think
be
of
it.
that.
So you actually
Where-
have. See, that would actually require us to do some thinking. That's not what some of us do.
Dude,
Nope.
I know
Oh.
it because I'm a professional wrestling fan.
It's Pretty Boy Troy. That's the wrestler Spider-Man's up against.
That's really stupid.
I wish it was Bonesaw.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Bonesaw! I don't know.
Much-
is ready.
No, I-
Bonesaw is ready.
That was much better.
Ooh, yeah, Macho Man Randy Savage right here, and I'm doing the Spider-Man movie as Bonesaw McGraw because I'm
I've
going to
asked
set
you,
you in
did
the
your
danger
husband do
zone.
it for you?
Ooh, yeah.
I'm saying this from beyond the grave.
Okay, Jonathan, that's not funny. Macho
Is
Man.
he dead?
Yeah, he died.
Oh, I didn't know that.
You know, 3 years ago when that nutcase religious guy was saying that the world was going to end in May and whatever, like Randy
Yeah,
Savage
yeah.
died either that day or the day before, so a lot of wrestling fans were making memes of, well, then that must be proof that the world's coming to end because they needed Randy there, because then Randy Savage could say, welcome to heaven and hand you a Slim Jim.
Oh gosh.
All right.
It was weird. Like, there were so many internet memes about, yeah, he's up there now for when people die after the end of the world, they can be given a Slim Jim on their way to heaven.
It's just like a dark turn.
But, like, it's just weird. Like, I know, but let's just go back to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, so the art is a little. I mean, it's all right in this, but Peter looks really weird right as he realizes, or what after he realizes Uncle Ben's dead and he's running after the killer, and he looks like, I don't know, way too skinny and not like Peter at all. But and then you get the whole beat up the murderer, and he's all like, no, it's the dude that I didn't catch earlier, like we've heard a million times. And then you get the Vulture, and the old art is different in this because it's who is it? The first guy was Scott Koblish for pages 1 through 7, and then Giancarlo Caracuzzo for pages 8 through 14. And then the Vulture was Francesca Sirigia. These people have hard names to pronounce. I'm sorry if. Yeah. And then Elena Casagrande. Yeah, and this is him. Vulture. He was just like getting pictures for the Daily Bugle and stuff. And then the Vulture gets fired from his job and goes to rob a bank that Aunt May is trying to get the money out of Uncle Ben's other account that apparently she had no idea about.
Yeah, Uncle Ben just had this other account somewhere. Peter, yeah.
And then the Vulture breaks in and starts wrecking house, and Spider-Man comes in and kicks him in the face, and he flies away, and then throws him into a building, and that's it. And then some dude was like, dude, I should have had my camera, and I would have sold pictures to the Daily Bugle for you. And Spider-Man's all like, what? Because they were talking about a camera, and that's so like, oh, I wonder what's coming next. And then it's Doc Ock, who starts off with a giant Octobot thing that's just destroying the city. You don't see Doc Ock first. He's got this giant Octobot that just rockets away eventually. And then he's talking to Jonah. And then he breaks into Doc Ock's lab, and he's like, oh, it's a Octobot, not a Spider-Bot, because everyone's all like, oh, that was totally Spider-Man's robot because it has 8 legs. Because, yeah.
New York.
Because New York, that's the only 8-legged creature in the world is a spider.
Yep.
Well, then he's all like, and then Doc Ock appears behind him, and then they fight. But Doc Ock is wearing his old costume, and it's awesome. And
Like
this
the green jumpsuit.
yeah, the green and yellow
I
jumpsuit.
love that.
And I don't know, whoever the artist on this part is awesome. It looks kind of like Marco Cicchetto that was doing the team up, which if you read any of my reviews on that, I would like kneel down and kiss this guy on the mouth because of his art. I don't know. But yeah, and they duke it out, and he knocks Spider-Man out, and then Aunt May's all like, "Where's Peter?"
Yes.
And then you got a thwip, or Peter wakes up, and he's all like, "I'm free," and then he goes and beats the crap out of Doc Ock, and then saves the city, which is very reminiscent to Amazing Spider-Man 2, because their final battle in this takes place in a power plant.
Doc Ock.
Yeah. And then Peter gets home, and it's all sad because the dinner is on the table. Whoever did the cover art on this was awesome. Patrick Scherberger and Edgar Delgado. I really like it. It's very pretty.
Edgar.
Yeah. Well, and then we got the Sandman story. It's he's like, "Oh, I have spider powers," and he's just daydreaming and talking about something from Stark Industries that does something with chemical energy. Well, and then Sandman breaks in, and you find out that Peter's just been talking to a therapist guy the whole time, and then I don't know, Sandman's like wrecking everybody's faces, and then Peter's all like, "Oh, that's not," or the therapist guy's all like, "Well, that's not what I heard," and so then they're talking about how Spider-Man broke in, and then it goes through the exact same scene again. I don't know, and he's trying to take pictures, and Flash is all like, "Don't worry, I got this," and then the therapist is like, "Well, that doesn't explain your black eye," because he got punched in the face by Sandman, and then he's all like, "Well, you should stop worrying so much about yourself, because Aunt May lost her husband too. You didn't just lose your uncle." And then Aunt May and Peter hug it out, and the end.
All right, what's your grade, Jacob? An F?
I didn't hate it. I mean, I'd go with what did I give on my review on the thing on the website? I don't even remember. I think I gave it like a B+, but I'm gonna go with just like a B- now. I mean, it's kind of the same damn thing that this didn't need to exist at all, because it's literally just retelling of other things that we've already read.
I think the only reason it exists is because the movie just came out and they're trying to familiarize people with the character by retelling some of his classic stories.
Yeah, probably, but it was definitely not worth $5. I'll tell you that much.
That's why I didn't buy it.
Oh, so you're like, this sucker's gonna review it. Ha
Well,
ha.
Well,
That's
think
why-
about it. If you're somebody who just saw the movie and you decided just by happenstance, well, I really like this movie, I'm going to go look in the comic book store to see what this character is like in the comic books. Walk in the store. Are you going to pay $5 for a comic?
I don't know.
I wouldn't.
Yeah. So I think
probably
it's
gonna
kind
pick
of
this
like, they might be doing it because they figure all new readers will pick it up then and they'll get the origin and all this stuff. But at the same time, it's like, well, then I don't think they're going to pay $5 for the comic.
And to clarify, Jacob, I had you review it because I don't have $5.
I know. I was kidding. I was just giving you shit. Don't worry. I was actually, when I got to my comic shop, they was sitting in my box. So I think they are just learning that if Spider-Man is on the cover, I probably want it.
See, my comic book store's like that too. They will put suggestions in my box just by if I like it or not. Like I used to collect all the Batman books until like budget reasonings and New 52 got in
that's
my way.
so many books.
I know.
I'm only
so
getting
glad
3 Batman books right now.
Like I told them, I'm only picking up 2. I'm picking up the main Dan Snyder stuff and
Scott Snyder?
Scott Steiner. When I say Dan Snyder, I don't know, but Scott Steiner. No, I'm saying Scott Steiner, the wrestler. Yeah, sorry. I'm picking up the main Batman book, and I'm picking up the 66.
Oh,
And
I'm picking up Detective, regular Batman, and Eternal.
Yeah, I'm trade waiting for Eternal because like I don't have the budget to get a Batman book every week.
It's good, but anyway, back to Spider-Man. Did anybody else read Amazing X-Men number whatever that came out?
Amazing X-Men number 7?
Yeah, that has Spider-Man in it.
I didn't read that. I completely forgot it came out. But
I read it.
well, how was it? What would you give it as a grade?
Like a B.
It features basically a Spider-Man and his amazing friends reunion, which would make all the 80s people happy.
Yeah.
I dig that series, so, I was going to pick that issue up, but I completely forgot it was coming out, so.
I've been picking up Amazing X-Men, so it was just a pleasant surprise. I was like, hey, Spider-Man's in this one too. But I was picking up Amazing X-Men because that was Nightcrawler's return. So after that arc, I'm giving it a few more issues to see if I keep getting it.
You know what I don't get about that though? About the Spider-Man and Amazing Friends, because they did that a few years, maybe I want to say 4 or 5 years ago. Even when Ultimate did, they had the Spider-Man and his Ultimate Friends as a storyline or something like that. And it's like, if you really want to capitalize on Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends, and if you have never seen it, go on Netflix. It's a pretty good, actually, Spider-Man cartoon.
It's on there?
Yeah, it's on Netflix.
The whole series is on Netflix.
Huh.
That and Ultimate are the only 2 Spider-Man things that are left on there, because they got rid of the 90s Fox cartoon and the original 60s version.
Yeah,
I know.
That's bullshit.
You can find all the episodes on TV.com, though.
The worst though is Sony has their own free version called Crackle, and I used to watch Godzilla and the Three Stooges and stuff like that. They had underneath their kids section a picture of the spectacular Spider-Man, the definition, everything describes Spider-Man. I'm like, oh great, this is not on Netflix or Hulu, but it's on their Crackle. I click on it and it's the fucking MTV cartoon. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
That's right. Is that the one with Neil Patrick Harris?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
It's the one that sucks balls.
You know what's funny, though? Peter looks kind of like Andrew Garfield in that show.
Yeah, I can see it a little bit. But the funniest part, though, is I like How I Met Your Mother. So when him and Robin got together, I used to always make a joke about, hey, look, it's Peter Parker and Mara Hill. Shippers.
I think the 90s show is on Amazon Instant Video if anybody has Amazon Prime.
No one has Amazon Prime.
TV.com. Just type in Spider-Man the Animated Series TV.com and then you get all the episodes for free.
I still haven't watched the big spectacular Spider-Man and John and Thomas.
God.
Yeah, I got yelled at once about it by Mr. Weber here.
I didn't yell at you.
When me and Thomas were listing our favorite cartoons, you were like, you put Ultimate on there and not Spectacular. What the hell?
That was Thomas.
You both was it just Tom? I don't remember. It was like
Jacob
a year ago.
Spectacular.
Sorry, but my point was that if they're going to do all these little appearances of Spider-Man's Amazing Friends to tap into that 80s nostalgia, why don't they just make it a series? I mean, they made a satellite title for everything for Spider-Man. Would a Spider-Man and Amazing Friends series kill them?
I would buy it. I'd buy it instantly.
Well, I'd buy it just because I buy everything that has Spider-Man in the name, except for Superior Foes. I don't know why I don't get that.
You have got to be kidding me.
I had to drop something, and I was like, oh, I'll drop this. And now everybody's like, dude, it's the best thing ever. So I'm going to probably pick up the trades once
you guys
they're all
know what's
out.
the best thing ever? Dark chocolate and peanut butter.
That sounds disgusting.
Dude, it's so freaking good.
Yeah, I'm allergic to peanuts, so I'm going to say no to that.
Oh my gosh.
I'm allergic to gross chocolate, so...
Listeners, go find Reese's Dark Chocolate Peanut Butter Cups. You will thank me. Seriously, I had oh my gosh, that was so good. I tried those today. But getting off of the topic of chocolate, and back onto the topic of Spider-Man, we got 4 classic issues to talk about since, we don't really have anything else to say about giant-sized Spider-Man because one person read it. So
Jacob, would you
wait till it goes to the back issue bins, and you'll probably be able to find some of it in the dollar bin because when I went to my shop the other day, there was still quite a few copies. So
I go to my comic shop about once a week, and they still have copies of Superior 30 from 2 months ago.
I found Superior 26. That was the first part of Goblin Nation, right?
That was the prelude.
The one that had the cat variant. I have that. I found that at a flea market recently.
Yeah.
I told this story on CBR.
Cats.
I told this story on CBR before, and people thought I was making this up. Like, oh, your comic book store has to be stupid for this or whatever, which is hilarious. Because I walked into my comic book store, and it's when they did the 700 point whatever, they did a few months ago. And I walked into my comic book store, and they were almost all sold out of those 700 point whatevers. But the new issue of Superior was almost sitting there untouched. Like, they had like 10 or 20, how many they picked up, ordered. They had almost all the copies there. And the guy who works at my comic shop, the guy who owns it, he goes, if this is any sign to Marvel, that means that Peter needs to come back, because right now I'm making more money off these one-shots, not really in canon, Spider-Man stories in the 700 name than I am making off Superior. And I brought it up on CBR, and people bitched at me about how my comic book store guy doesn't know business then, I guess, because he wasn't selling Superior and something was all selling it. What?
Those 700 point issues weren't even that good.
I liked them.
I enjoyed them, but they weren't like the best thing I've ever read.
Well, no, but
probably
I
have
like
to
them.
read Peter again, right?
Yeah, I was just like, oh, Peter, I'm gonna buy this. All of them. I actually bought variants for that too. I have a problem.
All right, we're gonna tackle classic issues now, because I'm gonna take over this conversation because it's my show, damn it. Yeah, first off, we have Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 3, written by Stan Lee, layouts by John Romita Sr., and penciling by Donnie Heck. Yes, that's...
Oh, heck.
That's... Yeah, what the heck, man.
He was a penciler on Iron Man for a long time.
I don't read Iron Man, so...
I don't either, but I have like one of the essentials,
So there you go. But Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 3, released in 1966. Basic synopsis: Spider-Man is offered a place on the Avengers. He initially is hesitant, but decides to take them up on the offer. He gets in a fight with the Avengers because he believes that, they're kind of, insulting him, so he starts fighting them. They fight for about 4 pages. Then they send him off to catch the Hulk. Spider-Man refuses because he thinks they're going to kill him. And then he basically doesn't join the Avengers. My basic breakdown of this issue. First off, I'll start with my grade. I'm going to give this issue a B-. I did like it, but I didn't feel it was anything spectacular. I mean, when I read it the first time... When I read it the first time, I was like, hey, it's all of my favorite superheroes in one comic book. How could they go wrong? Well, personally, upon rereading it again, I think I do have problems with it. First off, I feel like the Avengers took up too much of the issue. This felt like an Avengers issue guest starring Spider-Man. I didn't like that. The Peter Parker dilemma of him wondering whether or not to join the Avengers, because of Aunt May and everything, that was good. The wisecracking in this issue was very good. The fight with the Avengers, however, in the middle of the issue, it's a bit too long. I think it goes on for about 4 or 5 pages, and I didn't need to see that long of a fight. I felt it was just a bit overkill and a bit, I didn't really need it as much. The fight between Spider-Man and the Hulk was fairly decent. The art throughout the entire issue was very good, and I really liked Spider-Man's whole moral stance at the end of the issue. About how he wants to help the Hulk, and he thinks the Avengers are going to hurt him, so he doesn't take them there. And, of course, we find out that the Avengers actually wanted to help him, but, of course, Spider-Man doesn't know that. Oh, excuse me. So, yeah, that was fairly nice irony. Overall, I thought this was a fairly solid issue as things blow up in the background. I felt this was a fairly solid issue. My favorite comedic moment had to be when Spider-Man just stopped into the Daily Bugle to get some water, and J. Jonah Jameson tries to call the police. That was a fairly comedic moment. I liked that quite a bit. But other than that, I don't really have a lot to say about this issue. I give it a B-. I don't feel it was anything spectacular, but I do feel it was good. It was a relatively fun read. And it was just an alright issue. So, Jen, we're going to start with you. What are your thoughts and grade on Amazing Annual number 3?
Well, I think this is... I actually agree with a lot of what you said. I really like Peter like worrying about Aunt May, if you know how that would affect his life with Aunt May and stuff. I really like his moral stance at the end, and I really like the Hulk part really made this for me because I love that when he's like, holy crap, this guy's like I think I have problems. This guy's life is a living hell. Like it, I think he really puts his problems into perspective and gives him kind of a new, maybe makes him think, well, maybe my life isn't that great, but it could be a lot worse. So I really like that. I really, 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 really did not like the Avengers in this issue. I thought that whole fight was really dumb. They just started attacking each other for almost no reason. And Peter's like, "Oh man, I think the test is they want me to fight them." And I'm like, "Why would you think that? Like that was really weird." And I really did not care for the Wasp not liking Spider-Man because wasps and spiders don't like each other. I thought that was really goofy. And I thought that scene where they're like, "Oh man, we forgot to tell Spider-Man why." We wanted the Hulk, Spider-Man, wait a minute, we need to tell you why we want you to catch the Hulk. Oh, he's too far away. And I'm like, no, he's not. He's like right there. Like Thor, you can go fly after him and tell him. Like that was weird and stupid. So this is one where the pros and cons kind of cancel each other out, so I'd give it a C.
All right. James, thoughts on Amazing Annual number 3?
What can I say about this issue with one word? Oh yeah, I know. Misunderstandings. Because literally, it's like one of those things where I notice that with a lot of shows I like and a lot of things I like where they use misunderstandings, and it's kind of like those things. Well, not just Smallville, but it's other things I even like. Like some Japanese shows I watch, they have this a lot, where it's like if the characters just sat down for 5 minutes to talk about the thing, they would understand that the whole problem was a big old misunderstanding, and this is what this issue is. It's Spider-Man does not understand why they want the Hulk, and because he gets on their backs about thinking that A, they want to fight him, and then B, they want him to kill the Hulk, that now they misunderstand Peter because Peter misunderstood them, and it became a big blowout between the Hulk and Spider-Man and the Avengers.
Yep.
Who's eating something?
Sorry, I took a drink.
No, I thought I heard crackling in the background. I was like, I thought someone was eating something or something.
Yeah, I agree with Jan. The Wasp and Spiders thing is really annoying, especially because it seems like every goddamn time the Wasp is in a scene that Spider-Man's name is even mentioned, whether it be in her own title with Hank or the Avengers or them crossing over in other books. Whenever somebody mentions Spider-Man, she goes, "Spiders and Wasp are natural enemies. Shut up, we get it already. You don't like him."
Well, not only that, it's also goofy because I'm like, well, she has wasp powers. She's not a wasp. He has spider powers. He's not a spider. Like they're people with superpowers that happen to resemble the animals that they're named after. They're not like actual, animals. Like that was just really stupid. Like, oh, I can run really fast like a cheetah, and I don't know, like whatever the cheetah's not. That was really stupid. I forget what I just said.
No, I agree with you. It's just really dumb because they could fix that scene in one word if they say that she's one of the people who agrees with Jonah.
Yeah.
But she goes, from what I read in the newspaper, he's just as bad as the villains we bring in. Boom. You explain right there why she doesn't like him, because she doesn't trust him because she reads the Bugle. Mm-hmm. That makes sense. Bees and spiders don't get along, so that means Wasp and Spider-Man can't get along. It doesn't.
Now, does that carry on past, this era?
I don't think so, because they would him and her would be in team ups with Marvel crossover events nowadays, and it won't even be mentioned.
Okay, good. That's good.
All right, what's your grade, James?
D. It's very not that good.
Okay. Jacob, thoughts and grade on Amazing Annual number 3?
It was just average for me. I thought the fight with the Avengers was just lame. And
yeah,
I agree with the whole Wasp scenario. And her and Hank don't seem to get along. I hope nothing happens to them later on. But
he just slapped around a few times.
That was a joke. That was a joke.
That's hilarious.
You guys even hear the joke I said? I feel really bad now because now people are going to be saying that I'm some evil guy, even though I'm not. I mean, the joke will go, "Oh, don't worry, if she gets out of line, he can just backhand her." But I just realized now that sounds really bad, and even though I'm clearly joking, I don't want to offend nobody, so I'm going to take that back right now.
All right. Yeah, I'll give it like a C. It was average. Oh yeah.
The pinnacle of mediocrity.
Yeah, it wasn't. There's nothing I can say that you guys didn't already say. So.
All right. Moving
I can't
on.
wait till we get to annual number 5.
What's in annual number 5?
It's the backstory of Peter's parents, but I have that. So.
Oh yeah,
I don't have that. I don't have that. Unlimited it.
All right.
Annual number 5, or I like to call it Peter Parker kills a guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll get to that.
We will get to that issue.
To be continued, kids.
Coming in probably 2020 at the pace we're going.
Oh no, we're going fast now. We'll get that probably in a few weeks.
You ruined my joke.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Amazing Spider-Man number 44. Yes, James has asked to break this issue down, so I will let him do the breakdown of the next 2 issues. James, do Amazing Spider-Man number 44, then thoughts and grade, stuff like that.
So, like normal.
Yes, pretty much.
It begins at a train station. Dr. Connors is getting ready to meet his wife, and he's starting to react now because of what happened the issue before with the rhino and the whole, hey, should I become a lizard? No! Okay, I'm becoming a lizard. And his wife's in town, and he doesn't want her to see him turning, so he runs away. At the same train station, Peter is letting Aunt May go on vacation for her health. And, of course, in classic Aunt May fashion, she's worried about every goddamn little thing. She's like telling him,
Eat more vegetables.
Eat more vegetables. Make sure you brush your teeth. Don't get wet or you'll catch cold. It's like, what, he can't even take a shower? You want him to smell?
I thought you were going to say he can't even take a shit.
No, she's all like, don't get wet or you'll catch cold. It's like, so what, he can't wash himself?
Oh, Peter Parker, you're a real pussy, Willow.
And then...
Take the will out of that and they'll be just fine.
And then Peter spots the Connors looking all worried because they're looking for Kurt. And then Peter's like, "Oh crap, he's probably becoming a lizard again." And he doesn't want Billy to be scared, so he says, "Here, get a Coke." Peter.
That's the answer to everything.
Yeah. And Peter talks to Martha. Billy's going up so fast, even though he's not, because he's like, until his death, he was like the same age for 50 years. So he's not actually growing real fast.
No, he was a teenager in the 90s. Then he randomly fluctuated again.
Yeah, he's probably like 11.
Yeah,
like later.
Him and Reed and Sue's kids. It's and Ozzy Osbourne.
Yep.
Normie Osborn.
Crazy train.
And Normie, they're like I don't even know how you explain it. Like they'll go from being like preteens to teens to back to being 5 years old, depending on the writer.
Yep. How old was he when he died? Billy.
It was Shed.
Yeah, but like, do they say how old he was?
It looks like he's if he's not a teenager, he's got to be 11, 12.
Yeah, probably.
Well, after that, he doesn't find any clues of lizards, so he goes to hang out at the Groovy Coffee Bean with his friend, where he bumps into Gwen and Harry and Flash, and it is so awesome there. And it's like they're just doing normal 60s Stanley, hey, Ditko's gone, let's have everybody be groovy and happy, gang. And we do mysteries, pretty much.
Ditko's gone.
And all of a sudden, a mysterious girl who has all the men staring at her walks in, and it's Mary Jane. And you get the first time Mary Jane interacts with Harry, Flash, and Gwen. Gwen's all jealous because Peter and MJ has kind of a thing, so this is the beginning of the rivalry that, ironically enough, still exists today, even though one of the characters has been dead for 40 years. And you got, Harry and Mary Jane, their relationship that becomes a big deal in a lot of comics and movies and stuff like that. And then you got Mary Jane and Flash. So you got them all hanging out, and her and Peter are going to go out, and Peter's also being stalked by, what's his name, Foswell's patch gimmick, so that's going on. And Peter goes to fight Lizard, and Lizard breaks his arm when Spider-Man falls, and that's it.
You got it wrong, James. He sprained his arm.
What did I say?
Yeah.
You said broke.
Shame on you. Shame.
Oh, whatever. He hurt his arm and he had to wear like a cast the next issue.
I'm just giving you crap. Thoughts and grade, James?
It's a really good issue. It's not the best, but it's better than other Lizard half-ass explanations we'll get years later. And this is the first time he's been the Lizard in like many issues since issue 6. So it wasn't like nowadays where it's like every 5 issues he's Lizard again.
Unless you count Untold Tales, where there was the thing with Batwing.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm going to count.
I mean, if you're going just solely by the comic,
Yeah, I got you.
it is very good in that way because it's been years. It was like a novelty. He became the Lizard the first time in years. It's not like nowadays where it's like every year he came back. It's like the formula is like the worst working formula I've ever seen in my life. And I love the moments where he's flashing back because almost like the Green Goblin issues, these are all Romita's artwork and it's clearly Romita's style, but it's almost like he traced over Ditko. It's like it's like the most faithful I've ever seen flashbacks before in a comic.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Other thoughts, James?
Just that it's a pretty good issue and Spider-Man sprained his arm and not broke it, but I don't give a crap.
All right, what's your grade?
And my final grade for this issue will be a B.
All right, I'll go next. Like James, I really enjoyed this issue. I'm actually a really big Lizard fan. He's my second favorite Spider-Man villain behind Norman Osborn, so I really liked whenever the Lizard shows up. Yes, I will admit a lot of Lizard stories are similar, but to that I say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So, yeah, that's pretty much my explanation for that. I really liked the threat that was set up with the Lizard here, how he's set up to be this massive threat that could really just take Spider-Man down. I really liked that. I felt that was really cool. I love the Peter Parker scenes in this issue, mainly the scenes at the Silver Spoon, Coffee Bean, whatever you want to call it. I love the scenes at the Daily Bugle. Thank God Peter Parker is not in love with Betty Brant anymore.
Agreed, dude.
Because the moment he stops being in love with Betty, she becomes somewhat of a better character. So I will say that, she's... I don't hate her as much in this Lee Romita era as I did in the Ditko days. So, yeah, that's a pro right there. I love the scene at the Coffee Bean and Silver Spoon with the gang. I love all of that. The Lizard framing Spider-Man for a robbery, that's not something I would think that the Lizard would do, but it didn't bother me too much. The fight between the Lizard and Spider-Man was fairly good. The art in this issue is absolutely great. Again, I love the artwork of John Romita Sr. He's my favorite Spider-Man artist in the history of Spider-Man, so he's absolutely great. I absolutely love it. Spider-Man spraining his arm is an interesting development, and it's interesting to see how it's followed up on in the next issue. My one big problem with this issue was the ending, and my problem is it's the same freaking ending we've gotten in nearly every effing issue of Spider-Man, and I'm just getting sick of it. Okay, he has problems. Quit shoving it down our throats.
Oh, man, that never ends. It's still going on to this day.
I know, it's just...
Peter Parker has problems?
It's just...
What?
I know, it just got a little bit annoying for me with the end of this issue, so that was my only real con for this. Is it great? I give this one a B+. I really enjoyed it. So, Jacob, thoughts and grade on Amazing Spider-Man 44?
Well, first off, I would also give it about a B. I enjoyed it, even though I said earlier... Oh, wait, no, that was off-pod. But I don't... Not the biggest Lizard fan, but I do appreciate him as a classic villain that, that Ditko created. And, yeah, the art was fantastic because, John Romita Sr. can't really do wrong when it comes to Spider-Man.
Agreed.
Bring back the web pits. Hashtag. I'm still adamant about them web pits.
I'm going to make that trending for you, man.
Thank you. No. Yeah, it was really good. I mean, when I was first reading it in the Jewel robbery, I was like, this seems like a really harebrained idea here, Mr. Lizard. Like, I hope Spider-Man gets framed for this robbery. I'm just like... And then I was like, oh, okay. Only Spider-Man can climb walls. I forgot. So I was like, okay, this does work out. But yeah, it was good. I mean, I still struggle a little bit with reading the 60s stuff, but since we've been reading them, I'm getting better at it just because of the writing, and I'm used to like nowadays writing, not 50 years ago. So that's just me being an asshole, I think. But yeah, I'll give it a B. It was good. Continuing on.
All right, Jan, thoughts and grade on Amazing Spider-Man number 44?
I'm gonna beat John from last week and give it an A-. I really enjoyed this a lot.
Awesome.
Woohoo!
I actually really like I think the Lizard. I don't like him when he's a mindless animal, but I really like when he's intelligent, because I think it's kind of interesting to see how he uses like Dr. Connor's intelligence for bad. And I actually thought his idea of framing Spider-Man, even though it wouldn't make sense in like the real world, this is a world where J. Jonah Jameson thought Spider-Man and Electro were the same person.
Yeah.
This is a world where J. Jonah Jameson thought, freaking everyone in Spider-Man was the same person.
Yeah. So I thought it makes context within this universe. I really like the fight with the Lizard. I think I've been looking at Ditko issues, and I think Ditko's strength was really in coming up with great character designs, but his action scenes always felt kind of stale to me. And I think Romita has like a great sense of action. I think the whole fight with the Lizard is really well paced, and I really like how they go to several different locations, and they're in the sewer, and then they crawl walls, and they're beating each other up on the side of the wall, and then Spider-Man actually gets hurt. So I think the action scene is one of the best things about this. I think this is like some of the best action I've seen in some of these old issues for me personally. And I really like that he gets his arm broken. I think that's a great makes Spider-Man feel a little bit more human than some other superheroes. He can get hurt. He's not indestructible, even though he's really very powerful. And I also
like that too.
The personal drama. Well, what did you say, Jake?
I agree. The arm breaking thing was actually, I thought that was a good plot device.
Yeah. Me too. And I really like the personal drama with them at the Silver Spoon, which I remember. I thought it was cool that was in the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon. I remembered that when I was reading this today. And I like how it kind of sets up the dynamic between these characters that we'll see progress quite a bit in the next issue, actually. So I give this an A-. I really dug it.
All right, did I miss anybody for thoughts on this issue?
No.
Nope.
Just that there's some real perverts in the world.
Yeah, we've also, while Jan was talking, the other three of us are deleting freaking gay porn off of our message board. So seriously, I swear to God, whoever is doing this, stop. Just quit it. It's not funny.
There is nothing wrong with being a homosexual. I'm just gonna say that right now. But like I said, there's a time and a place for everything. The Spider-Man message board they're on is not for it. We're also used to people being goddamn trolls on boards I go on to, so I'm not used to it here.
Okay, but Power Rangers, nope.
Oh, James. So the bar I worked at last night, it's like a 90s theme bar. And as we're closing, they were playing the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers theme song, and I was singing out loud to my coworkers. It was a great time. Side note. It's like, go, go, Power Rangers! Doo, 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 doo. I'm done.
You know what the sad thing is? The first thing you say is they sing the Power Ranger theme song, and I had to think for a second because there are so many in the 20 years that show's been on the air that I'm going for the list of all the theme songs, like Mighty Morphin, Zeo, Time Force, Wild Force, Mystic Force, Mega Force. Yes, there's a lot of forces.
Fuck.
There's 4 seasons, well 5 if you count, since they split one in 2 parts, that had the word force in the ending.
How about Turbo? Was there
Nobody
a Turbo
really wants
Force? I like
There
Turbo.
is Turbo. There is a Power Rangers Turbo. There's a Power Rangers Operation Overdrive, and there's a Power Rangers RPM. RPM is actually pretty good.
I like Turbo because the Blue Ranger was a kid that turned into an adult.
And everybody else in the Power Ranger fandom hates that.
I was a kid when I watched that. All right, back to Spider-Man.
Back to Spider-Man. James, break down Amazing 45.
Well, first I want to explain why Justin sucks. See, nobody liked Justin because he was an annoying
Sorry.
kid. He replaced Rocky. Rocky was an awesome guy. Rocky was a Red Ranger, and then he became a Blue Ranger because they had to give Tommy a Red Ranger suit and Zeo. So in Turbo, they kicked his ass off and replaced him with a kid. hashtag go for Rocky. Okay, that's it. I'm done.
Hashtag bring back the web pits.
Okay.
Dude, if we actually get the hashtag bring back
Hashtag
Rocky for
not
Power
right.
Rangers trending and the hashtag bring back web pits, I would be the most biggest laugh I will ever have in my life. If people actually got that trending for us.
That would be
I don't have-
awesome.
So
But anyways, yeah, back to the actual issue at hand. Spidey Part 2 against Lizard. It's a pretty good thing, you know. Spider-Man's arm's now broken, and he has to come with an excuse to everybody because, well, not broken, I mean sprained, whatever, Jonathan. And
Thank you.
his arms hurt, and he has to come up with reasonings for everybody about why he's injured with the same thing Spider-Man is. He goes to school, he says he got on his motorcycle, and even though Flash and Peter are friends now, he's still like, Puny Parker can't ride a motorcycle.
They're not friends yet.
They're starting to become
they're
friends now,
better
though.
than they were in the Ditko era.
Ditko era, Peter was ready to come in there and just choke this dude out. Now they're like, yeah, he picks on me, but I get him back.
Yeah.
All right, just continue.
Yeah, because now it's more like just friends messing with each other than it is actually them not liking each other.
Mhm.
But anyways, yeah, he does this. He goes to school. Gwen thinks it's really hot that Peter's arm is broken because that's really manly, I guess. And so she's like, let's go to a party with Peter. Because we all know what this is setting up. Peter saying, I'll be there at a party, and he has to fight a supervillain. I think we all know where this is going.
Yeah.
Peter fights the villain, misses the party. He webs up Connors, and he has to dump the thing in Connor's mouth pretty much, but he can't do it, so he just does some like kind of literally like surgery antidote thing on him. He wakes up, and he's now like, oh, I'm cured, honey, and they're all happy because he's back to normal, missing an arm and everything, and he's at Ravencroft prison while a mysterious man comes in and says, you know what, that's wrong, Connie.
Oh my gosh!
And but anyways,
No.
he's back to normal, and then there's this one panel where Stanley's like, I'm too lazy here to think of anything to write. You guys do it for me. Spider-Man webs away, doesn't get to be with the girls and Harry, and they're all like, Peter, you missed our party. It was so awesome. You couldn't be there. And then he cries about it in his bedroom. Oh, my life sucks. And he throws his costume in the trash for the 150th time, and then it ends with Connor's like, Spider-Man's a great guy. To be continued next issue, Peter Parker's groovy pad. You dig, guys?
I dig.
All right, thoughts and grade, James.
I just made it awkward.
It's 60s Spider-Man. Like, if you had to like tell somebody what is the ideal Stanley Romita issue of Spider-Man, this in a lot of ways I think you would get. It's got everything. You got the drama with Gwen, the drama with Mary Jane, the drama with Flash and Harry, the he can't make the groovy party because Aunt May's sick or he has to fight the supervillain, and Jonah and Foswell and all the Bugle stuff, Betty, which I do agree with you. It's like some people's when they bring up that, oh, he should get back with Betty. People who want him to get back with Betty are thinking about everything that her character development has been post Ditko. Because if you're going by their relationship in the Ditko years, no, they should never get back together. She's like that one last girlfriend mistake that every guy has. The girl you should have never dated in a billion years because she was crazy. That was Betty.
I've had that.
I think every guy has had that.
I haven't.
Yeah. So what do you guys think that the Connors family said?
Nothing.
Oh,
Stanley
I'm
is
just going to
busy.
say right now, this is what I originally wrote when I was a kid, and then I'll go to what I think what it is now. Now, if I can go back to what it was when I was a kid, it was Connor saying, yo, thanks, Spider-Man, because I had to fill that little bubble, and I wrote it in my essential because I was an idiot then. And then the mom saying, thanks, Spidey. And then Billy saying, shut up, Mom, you're the man. And then Peter saying, anytime, guys, anytime.
I think Connor said that gave a world without weakness speech.
I think nowadays he's probably thinking, how can I ever repay you? Yes, Spider-Man. And he's like, no, I'm just happy you guys are better. And then it's Connor's waving bye.
No,
That's
no,
what
no.
I think
Connor's
now when I'm
thinking,
older.
man, I hope I don't ever eat my son.
Oh, yeah. That's what he's thinking. That's what he's thinking. He's going, man, everybody else who's in my family right now is going to be dead in a few years.
I just
Because the
love my
wife even
son.
died, too.
I love my son is when he's alive, man. I just love it.
Oh no, I got the scene. Hey, Spider-Man, look at Billy's new haircut. Isn't he cute? You can just eat him up.
Oh gosh.
So many eating puns. Man, Billy looks like a good steak.
Oh,
right,
Billy. Oh, Billy. I'm ready to have it.
Awkward
I'm
silence,
hungry,
my bad.
Bill. I'm hungry, Billy. Let's go get a cheeseburger.
All
Is
right.
that funny because his hair is blonde, like in yellow, like cheese?
Oh,
Oh!
Actually, I'm looking at the essentials, so I wasn't thinking that when I made that joke. That
I'm
actually kind of
looking at
fits.
Marvel Unlimited.
All right. What's your grade, James?
I would give this one actually an A, because like I said, this is like, if you think essential Ramita Ditko, Ramita Stan Lee, this is what you would get, I think, for a lot of people. You have the college drama, you have the girl trouble, you have him fighting the supervillain, you have him in Aunt May drama. This is what it will be.
All right.
And
Jan.
funny enough, my friend just gave me a link to a website that's called Cheeseburger. So
You guys know there's a.
psychic.
I
He's
don't
like-
know if I should share this on the air, but I once I typed in fuckfrance.com, and that's a real website.
I take offense to that. I am French.
I was just curious. I typed in like fuck Germany, fuck Turkey, fuck France, and fuck France existed.
And there goes the explicit.
James, you're
Fitting
like
honor.
not James. John, you're like 5 steps closer to hell.
Oh gosh. Please don't start that. Please don't start that. All right. Jen, thoughts and grade on Amazing Spider-Man 45?
I gave it an A-. I think the first half is kind of slow, but I think that just like the first one, the final fight with the lizard and the train is excellent, and I really like how Spider-Man uses his brain to win, because that's a thing that I really like about Spider-Man is he's really smart, and he uses his like his brains to win in those kind of situations. Who's typing in the background?
Well, you.
I'm not.
I don't know. We're trying
Jesus Christ, have mercy.
We're trying to clear this freaking message board. It's like every time you start talking, someone posts porn on the message board.
Oh my God, James! You split, James.
Jeez. Holy shit.
James, calm down.
And now, back to the news.
Yeah. Okay, so where was I? Oh yeah. Right.
Something about the lizard and
Yeah,
stuff.
so that fight was really cool, and I like how Spider-Man. I can't go.
I'm sorry. That was hilarious.
I'm just kidding, James. Is James here?
Probably.
James.
Sorry, I had the thing on mic because I was typing, but what a life this guy is. Honestly, okay, I was laughing hysterically too, guys. What a waste! It is a waste of life. I mean, I got nothing else better to do today. I'm just gonna post porn on a Spider-Man website.
Might as well change the name to the Amazing Spider Dick.
Guys, Spider-Man porno. Is George Barrowman hacking into the site?
Oh gosh.
Have you guys seen the Spider-Man porno? That might be weird for me to ask, but it's bad.
What have you seen it?
The internet happened, and there's a softcore one called Spider Babe.
Okay, we don't.
Why do you know this?
We don't want.
It was on HBO.
And also, I know a Spider-Man podcast that we're not going to name names, so we're not going to start trouble. But another Spider-Man podcast did do audio commentaries on all the Spider-Man porn parodies.
Can you
Not
tell
gonna
me what
touch
this
it.
is?
Whoever was talking about Amazing 45, continue talking.
Okay, so I liked the the final fight with the lizard. It reminds me a lot of the fight with Doc Ock and Spider-Man 2 when they're on the train. I like how Spider-Man uses his brains to defeat the lizard, because that's an aspect of the character that I feel like we like that aspect gets left out a lot in certain versions. So I really liked it that was in the forefront here. I think that final panel with all the thought balloons, all the speech bubbles empty was really funny, because it was like Stan Lee's just like, I don't really feel like filling all these out. So we'll say it's hey kids, you want to fill out a thought bubble, because we know our readership are really creative. That was just funny to me.
I just want to believe that Stan just forgot to dialogue that panel, and like in the final editing phase realized it and just said, screw it.
Fuck it, true believers. Excelsior!
The cover is just Stan flipping off the audience.
Oh my gosh. Exclusive Midtown Comics variant.
Stan Lee says fuck you all.
Yes,
you have to buy it.
Guys, can you imagine that now? In the letter page? I just read Amazing Spider-Man 45. I thought it was a really great issue you and Ring-a-Ding-Ding Mermita did, Stanley. I should ask you, what was that panel about? Is it because you really trust us readers as being smarter than the DC readers that we can come up with our own books? Go fuck yourself. That was the reply from Stan Lee. Reply.
DC readers, what?
Go F yourself.
Right.
Sir, do you realize Spider-Man is a Marvel character?
Yeah.
You said DC.
No, he said Marvel readers are smarter than DC
That's why
readers.
Marvel writers are...
Oh,
DC.
I misunderstood you. I was just
And then
kidding
Stanley's
anyway.
reply back is an F you.
Yeah, fuck you.
All right, my thoughts on this issue.
I didn't even get a grade, dude.
You gave it an A-, I thought.
Oh, I did? Okay, okay, never mind. Continue.
All right, my thoughts on this issue. It's a pretty basic action issue. I enjoyed it for what it was. I love the way the lizard was taken down. I thought that was very smart. Showed a great ingenious side of Spider-Man that I always love to see. I loved how they actually thought about, what are we going to do about Peter's broken arm? Because most comic books would just shrug that aside, but they actually did something about it. So I actually kind of liked that. The art, again, was great. The only problem I had with this issue was the fact that the ending was the same damn thing we see every issue. Excuse me. The panel of no dialogue, I didn't really care enough. I literally skipped over it to actually fill anything in because I just didn't care enough. But yeah, I give this one a B+. Also, I really enjoyed this two-parter. I think it's a perfectly solid Lizard two-parter, and ultimately, it's a fairly solid one.
Now, I have a really quick. Since you obviously love the Green Goblin two-parter that we did last year, last week.
Jan, you've been on this podcast for forever, man. I'm so
I got a bigger
glad.
guy. But the one that we did last week, how do you think this compares? Since Lizard is like your second favorite.
I don't think this is. We're talking about the 39 and 40.
Yeah.
I don't think this is as good as 39 and 40. This is a great two-parter, but I don't think it's anywhere close to 39 and 40.
Can I really quickly say something? Really quick?
As long as it's not racist, sure.
Okay.
So Thomas is not allowed on the podcast no more.
Pretty much.
What the heck was that?
That was me. I was laughing.
I've heard ever.
I was trying to cover up my mouth so it wasn't loud.
Yeah, he made it worse, dude.
I'm about to say, what does Jacob have like a animal, like some rare exotic animal in his house or something?
Oh yeah, I have like 6 leopards just hanging out.
Badass! I'm going to Jacob's house.
I have a kimono dragon in my
Green
basement.
Goblin and Kraven the Hunter in one. No.
Yeah.
I really like the ending. I like how it's almost. I feel like we're getting a little bit of build up to Spider-Man No More.
You know what? I can kind of see that. Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think
his job as Spider-Man.
I don't think it is like. I don't think Stan Lee had 50. I mean, if you go by him, he just said, "Oh, I'm going to do this issue," and it's 50. Oh, this is great. But it does kind of look like when you read the story that since he joined college, that Peter has been getting more stressed out.
Yeah.
So it is continuing. I think it's just more of them continuing the Ditko stuff. Like they're slowly phasing out all the Ditko stuff in the last few issues, and this is their way of doing it.
Okay, seriously, I'm getting fucking sick of this. This is getting. Oh my gosh,
I wasn't kidding.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Jeez. I'm sorry, listeners. They're talking about. They're keeping me
Adult videos.
See, here's what's going on. This basically in the chat window, everyone is keeping tabs on the message board because we keep getting this porn spam that's someone is posting, and I keep banning the people's IP address, and then somehow they keep coming back. And it's
gotta be just spam, not like actual people. That's what I'm guessing.
Well, I know, but it's like even if I ban the IP address, it's just still pissing me off, and it's just I don't know what's going on.
Just avoid the message board, I think.
No,
now.
I can't avoid the message board because I can't.
No, I'm telling people like that are listening to avoid the message board.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I can't let this shit go on. Oh my gosh, this is.
But no, yeah. Who was talking before this?
I don't remember. I give this issue a B+. Yeah, Jacob, go ahead on this issue.
Well, since we've been talking about this issue for about 45 minutes now, not really. Yeah.
Only 40.
This was, like I said, I mean, I'm not the biggest Lizard fan, but this was actually a good two-parter. And yeah, I can definitely see the build up to Spider-Man No More as well. And I'm really excited to see Peter Parker's pad. I don't know about you guys, but and
he has a really weird decoration. It's yellow and red like patches. It's really strange.
I don't. Yeah. I mean,
shocker.
Yeah. I really like John Romita's Mary Jane, but I think the Connors are like, "Yo, Spider-Man, thanks for saving my ass," and then Mrs. Connors, I can't remember her name, is all like, "Yeah, now I can go home with my husband, and he's not gonna eat me because he's a damn lizard." And Billy's all like, "Yeah, now I won't get eaten for another like 40 years." And the Spider-Man's all like, "Take it easy, you guys. Don't turn green." And yeah, I give it a B+.
He goes, "Don't turn green," and then in the background, he knows the Green Goblin flying around. Oh, son of a bitch! And then the Hulk, Bruce Banner's becoming the Hulk. He's like, "Why is everybody going green?"
I said no green. Shit.
All right.
Was that Adam Sandler?
Adam Sandler's on the line. Let's hear from Adam. What did you think of this issue?
Wow! Hey-o! I don't.
All right.
And then Hal Jordan comes over from the DC universe.
Oh, Ryan Reynolds, wonderful.
Not Ryan Reynolds.
The Deadpool?
No.
Nathan Fillion is Hal Jordan comes over from the DC universe.
Yeah, that guy. I don't know who that is, but yeah.
Nathan Fillion, you know, like the guy who's voice of him, the voice of Green Lantern.
I don't know anything about Green Lantern. I just know the movie sucked ass.
I own that movie.
Me too.
I paid money for it on Blu-ray.
I liked it as a kid because I had no taste in movies as a kid.
Green Lantern?
Yeah, I liked it as a kid.
Didn't that movie just come out like 2 or 3 years ago?
Only 15, dude.
Oh, never mind. I didn't know that. I feel old now because I'm 22.
Dude, I'm 23. You just made me feel old now.
Aw, I thought I was the oldest. Well, James, we can just go to the retirement home together, I guess.
Well, that's why I made the joke earlier when goddamn Jonathan said whatever he did, and I go, "Jonathan, shut the hell up, or you're going to get me and Jacob arrested."
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I knew you were above age 18, but I didn't know you were older than me.
Amazing Spider-Man 46. Jan, break it down.
Okay, guys. Strap your seatbelts on. We're going back to 1965, I think.
1967.
1967.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. Okay. So Spider-Man's like encounters the Shocker, who is robbing a bank. The Shocker cleans Spider-Man's clock really easily, partially due to the fact that Spider-Man has his arm is sprained. It's not broken, guys. It's sprained. I think it's really interesting how the Shocker is actually portrayed throughout this issue as a boss, wherein nowadays people think of the Shocker as kind of a loser. He's actually pretty like competent in these early Silver Age and Bronze Age stories. And
I want them to put him in a movie.
I know. Like, I wanted them to use him kind of like they used the Rhino, where he's like in the beginning and he gets beat up and then goes to jail.
Yeah, everybody says that's the best way to work Shocker in a movie. If he's a one-off guy, he gets up in the beginning.
They actually used him pretty well in the game, but that's off topic. But anyway, I called this issue because I agree. I love the Shocker. So anyway, so Peter is kind of feeling like we said, hit the stress of being Spider-Man is starting to weigh down on him. We see that Peter's relationship with Harry has really got like he and Harry are actually like really good friends by now, and it's kind of interesting to see how and Harry offers Peter a place to live. What?
Crash.
Yeah, Crash. Like he's like, hey, my dad's buying me a new apartment. There's 2 bedrooms. We can be roommates. And Peter's like, yeah, sure. That sounds cool. And turns out Aunt May is moving into Anna Watson, so it's perfect timing. We get a really funny J. Jonah Jameson scene, and we also see that Frederick Foswell, that's a really hard name to pronounce, is tracking Peter to try to figure out how he gets such good pictures of Spider-Man, which we've seen this. How many times have we seen that idea? Like we saw it with Scorpion, and now it's like funny how Stan Lee reuses a lot of the same ideas a lot. We see the origin of the Shocker. Peter talks to Aunt May, and she's moving into Anna Watson's house. We see a scene with all of the like Harry and Mary Jane and Gwen and all that whatnot and all that stuff. And Flash is going to Vietnam. That's what all this buildup is for, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
And loses his legs.
It's funny because in
Flash,
like, man, I really hope I don't lose my legs in Nam. That would suck.
No, he loses his legs in Iraq.
Iraq? Okay, well, never mind.
I just knew it lost him in the war. I couldn't remember which one.
It was like really weird too, because you see Flash in the last issue of One More Day, and then he's not mentioned again until the annual that came out like a week before the issue where they said that his legs got blown off in Iraq. Because it's like a one-off line where they're like, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you guys talked for a second. But they have this one-off line where Peter gives Flash Thompson as his fake name, and then the person goes, "You mean Flash Thompson is currently in the war?" And then like the issue later, like a week later, is after the annual is the issue where they say his legs got blown off. It's like really, it's like a one-off line they threw in there, like, holy crap, we have this issue to do.
Yeah, that's kind of lame. But anyway, it's interesting that in Spider-Man Blue, this whole thing for him going off to Nam, because I just read Spider-Man Blue recently, happened like because of he got caught in the crossfire between the 2 vultures, Blackie Drago and Adrian Toomes, and Spider-Man saved him. But that obviously doesn't happen like much later. So I forgot like how the order of events happened in the action, like the original stories. But so Peter fools Foswell into thinking that he and Spider-Man have a deal where like he splits some of the profits with Spider-Man in order for the pictures. Spider-Man, his arm is more or less fully healed, so he takes off the cast. He fights Shocker and still gets beaten pretty badly, but he defeats him by webbing Shocker's thumbs away from the triggers, so he can't actually use his gauntlets to fire the vibrational blast or whatever it's called. And again, like I said, that was a cool use of seeing Spider-Man kind of outthink the Shocker, because if he just tried to beat him in a straight-up fight, he would have lost, because the Shocker is shown to be really competent, he's like a physical opponent. So Shocker is taken away, and we get a final scene where Aunt May is really kind of sad about Peter moving away and kind of realizing that her boy is growing and into adulthood, and it ends with Peter moving into Harry's pad. So,
and sad about it.
Yeah. Surprise, surprise. Peter Parker's sad about something.
Thoughts and grade, Jan?
I really enjoy this. I love the Shocker. As I said before, he's always like been a character that I've always said that like every fanboy of a comic book has like one character that they latch onto for absolutely no reason. And for me, the two characters that I have that for are Shocker and Scorpion. They're not like super interesting characters or anything, but I really like both of those guys. So I really wanted to talk about this one just because I really like the Shocker.
Coincidentally, those are the two villains I used in my two fan fictions.
You use Scorpion in a fanfiction?
Yeah, and the Shocker.
How'd you use Scorpion? Well, never mind. But anyway, that's funny. Yeah, so I probably give it. I don't think it's as good as the Lizard Spider, but I think the Shocker stuff. As much as I like the Shocker, it's pretty much your average, Spider-Man supervillain thing. I think what's really good is the personal drama. Personal drama is what's important in these stories. The superhero stuff is kind of like a backdrop to the personal drama. So I give it probably a B plus. A B plus to a B, somewhere in there. It's a fun story.
All right, Jacob, thoughts and grade on Amazing 46?
Shocker isn't one of my favorite villains, but I don't dislike him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, early on, he was a lot cooler than he is now. But he's kind of like a joke now, kind of.
Especially with superior foes.
Yeah, that's one thing that turned me off of reading Superior Foes. It's they're making Shocker look like a little bitch, and I didn't like it.
They made Sandman into a little bitch back in the 80s.
I really like how they use Shocker in the Spider-Man 2 game.
Yeah, the most recent one.
Well, the recent one and the older one.
I was just for some reason when they're like, oh, Herman Schultz, I was like, fuck, I know that's a bad guy. And then when they're just talking about him, I was brain farting on what Shocker's name was.
He shows up when he has the Shocker clothes, and you're like, holy crap.
I was just like, oh, duh. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I mean, John Romita, again, draws the Shocker the coolest I've seen. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but what page is it? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Later. It's at the end when Spider-Man is webbing Shocker up and you can see how his gloves are attached to him and everything.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at that panel right now. That is very good Romita art.
I was just damn when I saw that. And the panel just above it when he's just before you can reach me or manage to run away, I'll hit you with a deadly, full intensity double shock blast. So farewell, Web Slinger. Your final act has just ended, and the curtain is descending for the last time. Which is some very villainy or super villainy talk, but then Spider-Man, takes him out in 42 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is definitely actually one of my more favorite interpretations of the Shocker, because he's been, betrayed kind of lame lately.
Yeah, I enjoyed stuff.
And then
I blame Ultimate for that, because once Ultimate made Shocker a joke, everybody made Shocker a joke.
That was one of my where he was just some weird dude with weird hair. Didn't he?
It's annoying how stuff from Ultimate kind of bleeds into the 616 universe.
Yeah, I wish I was more separated. I like the Ultimate Universe. Okay, I like Ultimate Spider-Man.
The first Spider-Man game too, I thought was kind of the beginnings of Shocker being in the mainstream, also being a joke villain. But even going back to the '90s cartoon, now that I think about it, they had some really bad Shocker things. He's the one who's Peter's fighting with the black suit in the church, and then has this really corny line where he's gonna kill Shocker, and of course they can't say it because of censorship. He's gonna kill him. He just looked up and he goes, "No,
she's here to the end of the earth."
Yeah, it's like, oh my god, you wouldn't do that to me. And he goes, "This Spider-Man plays for keeps."
Christopher Daniels, ladies and gentlemen. That dude is awesome.
All right, grade whoever was reviewing this issue. I don't even remember.
It was me. I give it a B. I mean, I enjoyed it, but I mean, it's not the greatest thing I've ever read.
No, it's not. But it's fun.
All right,
it was fun. Yeah.
All right, Jan. Oh wait, you already did yours. Damn it. James, thoughts and grade on Amazing 46.
Well, I just want to go over the story elements, and I'll go to the villain last because it's Shocker. He's not really a big part of this. So I'm going to go over the story elements first about Peter Parker. And so that first, I love the patch thing he does, where he's keeping tabs on Spider-Man, and then it's like he overhears Peter talking with a shadow effect of a fake Spider-Man. But all I keep on thinking is, if somebody just looks out a window, they're seeing Spider-Man being like a nutso talking to himself. He's all like, yeah, we can share the photos. Yes, we can share those photos. Sure thing. Yeah, I'll give you the money. Yeah, we can share the money. The people are like, okay, what the hell? The Bugle's right. This guy is clearly nuts.
I let that go. I thought it was funny.
It's the 60s comics, I know, but nowadays it's like if you look out the window and you saw that, you think this guy is completely insane.
Oh, another thing, the last
Again,
fight with the Shocker is really awesome.
Sorry.
Yeah, I like the fight with the Shocker and the Peter Aunt May stuff. I mean, him and Harry moves in. I mean, like, almost, this is like them now they're officially friends. It's the Peter and Harry BFF friends that they have been for decades now.
The beginning of the end.
Yeah, they're roommates. I mean, this has been shown in the Raimi trilogy. This is, when people think Harry and Peter, it's the groovy swingers and the pad and everything from
James,
the 60s.
Is that scene where Harry talks about how Peter got his break? Oh, sorry, wrong continuity.
Yeah, but anyways, it's just really bad because they have to end every issue with Peter sad because it's comics, but it's like he's sad because his aunt's lonely now, even though she's living with Watson. He goes and he asks her, and it's almost like Peter doesn't want to move in. Like, I wonder if it's subconscious. He's wondering what if Harry finds out, because he's all like, it's almost like he's sabotaging himself. He's like, well, I got to go ask my aunt first because she's really sick and I'm the only one who can take care of her. Aunt May, I know you're not going to say yes to this, but Harry Osborn wants to know if I can move in with him. Oh, no, you can do that. That way I can move in with Miss Watson and we can make money with a boarding house. Oh, son of a... I mean, thank you. And then he's all, like, sad in his room because now Aunt May's all alone. It's like, no, you're going too far here to make us, oh, why Peter? I mean, oh, why Peter? He's got a free apartment, penthouse paid by a rich billionaire. Oh, yeah, poor Peter.
Yeah, it didn't make any sense.
And a motorcycle. He has a motorcycle. He has two hot chicks and Gwen and Mary Jane fighting over him. He has a nice apartment with Harry. And Flash is about to go to war, meaning he's not going to get tormented by this guy no more. He should be happy.
Yeah.
But now I got to go over my review over Shocker. I don't really like the villain Shocker, so instead of talking about him, I want to talk about an even better Shocker. The Kamen Rider supervillain terrorist organization Shocker. Shocker were great Kamen Rider villains in the original series. They're the one who created the hero, and ironically enough, the first monster that Kamen Rider fought was Spider-Man, spelled all in Japanese though, and it was a monster. That Shocker was a great villain, and it still exists today in Kamen Rider. And if you want to know more about Kamen Rider, check out the Angel Grove Radio podcast spin-off series on YouTube on Kamen Hero. Cheap plug. Thank you, Jonathan.
Yeah.
I had to do that. I'm sorry, dude. This whole team Shocker and had a Spider-Man. I'm sorry. I had to do it.
Okay.
James, why don't you like Shocker?
No, I was just doing it for the joke.
Oh, you don't like
I don't mind him. He's okay. I don't like him nowadays, but these earlier Ramita era 60s, 70s stories with him are pretty okay.
I love
Yeah.
And he's really into politics. Like, in Brand New Day, they had a whole, like, mayor storyline going on. And whenever Shocker would appear, they would make references to other villains going, I'm a supervillain, I'm not going to vote. And he's all like, dude, it's your civic... He's like Batman Adam West. Dude, it's your civic duty to vote. Vote. It's all like, wow, you're really... It was like 2008.
Shocker tells people that?
It's 2008, so it was during the Obama election, so I can kind of tell that it was an election year, so the young kids that they were hoping to jump on during Brand New Day that year, because it was the first year of Brand New Day, they're hoping, oh god, any young kid who was like 18, 17 at this time, we can get them really excited to vote. But it's like you use Shocker for it.
That's
supervillains vote. That means I should.
You're right to vote.
Yeah, it's like completely out of nowhere. It's like, so who are you going to vote for in the election? And they're like, oh, I'm not going to vote. And Shocker's like, dude, why aren't you going to vote?
All right.
Anyways, my grade for this one, I would give it an A, because it's actually a pretty good issue. But that ending with Peter just being why me sad for no reason whatsoever completely takes it down to a B.
All right. My review of this issue, I actually really like the Shocker. He just has a special place in my heart because he was the first villain I ever used in a fan fiction, so I don't know, maybe that just makes me like him more, but I really like the Shocker. The action sequences in this issue were really fun. I actually really, really enjoyed them. Like James mentioned, the scene between Spider-Man and Foswell, well, kind of between them, but where Spider-Man's tricking Foswell, I love that scene. That's classic. I was laughing out loud at that scene. I absolutely love it. In terms of the apartment plot with Harry and Peter, I found it kind of weird that these guys just became friends and now Harry's like, oh, let's move in together. It's like, whoa, take it slow, buddy.
John, there's a big reason for that. See, what the rest of the scene goes and why Peter was all sad is because Harry's like, yeah, we're going to be great roommates, Peter. Peter's putting out his bags. He's putting stuff in the drawers. He's rearranging the bag. He's getting everything the way he likes. I was thinking he doesn't knock on the door. Oh, come on in, Harry. Harry sits him down and goes, Peter, I got something to tell you. I'm dying because of a disease my father has. I'm going to die from it. Can you give me Spider-Man's blood? I need Spider-Man's blood.
I want you to make him bleed. All right. Yeah, that was really my only problem with the issue. I give it an A-. I actually really like this issue. It's one of my favorites from the Lee Romita run. I think it's a very good issue, and overall, I really enjoyed it. So, that's going to do it for the classic reviews of this week. I cannot believe we got as long of a podcast out of this as we did. I think the only reason we did is because we kept getting sidelined by porn on our message board.
It's because I am awesome. That's why.
Well, I think it's because me and Jacob are trying to get Bring Back the Wet Pits trending on Twitter.
Yeah.
All right. Jacob, any final words for the listeners before we sign off?
Don't post porn on the message board.
Or I will hunt you down.
Or you'll get hunted down. Go see X-Men and play Watch Dogs.
All right. Jan, final words for the listeners before we sign off?
People, seriously, the porn thing is making me, really mad. Don't do it. It's stupid.
All right. James, final words for the listeners?
I got a few. One is an AGR one, but Jonathan, I just want to say thank you for being on the show last week. It was great having you on there, so that's all it is a thank you.
You're welcome, even though I sucked.
You sucked, but, it's still, you're better than some people we have on there sometimes, so it's good, and that's not a shot at anybody. I'm just, trying to make you feel better.
Thank you.
But, anyways, but thanks again for being on the show. And if you want to see me bring up why Rocky DeSanto was a great Red Ranger and what that little punk Justin shouldn't take this job. No, I'm just joking. I'm not going to go on that ramble. But anyways, so there's that. And one final thing. It's a really serious topic, which is, please, whoever's doing the porn thing, stop. If you're an interbot, you can't stop. But if you are an actual person just being a troll, stop it. Please. I'm begging you. Stop. I'm watching you. Jesus is watching you.
You are very close to hell, my friend.
My final words for the listeners are, quit it with the porn on the message board, and, keep reading Spider-Man. All right, see you guys next week.